Hey everyone, Warwick's here. So we're back with another VoicePlay video. This is the one that actually won the poll that I put up on the thing. So this is Seven Nation Army by VoicePlay featuring Anthony Gargiulia, which is originally done by the White Stripes. Seven Nation Army, a song that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with personally. I think it's a all-time song in a lot of ways. I remember when it was first released, it kind of blew me away with both its simplicity and its depth all at the same time. But at the same time, the song has kind of just been turned into an overplayed, boring mess to where I don't want to listen to it because it's used in all aspects. Like professional wrestling uses the rhythm that they use it in chants for wrestlers. They use it in soccer like endlessly, or sorry, football for you Europeans. But they use it in soccer and football. They use it, I mean, hell, it gets used in other sports chants and here in the US. So it's kind of like it's epic and it's kind of like it's found its place in history and forever will be in its place in history. I think it goes down as one of the most catchy, easily singable songs in history. Um, but if you're like me and you kind of enjoyed it a lot when it first came out and then have watched what it's become over the last like 15, 20 years since it's been released, um, I've almost grown to hate the song in a lot of ways. So I'm hoping that this cover, um, with VoicePlay's signature special twists that they put on everything, kind of reinvigorates a little bit of love for the song. So I'm going to warn you ahead of time if this is not my most over the top or my most favorite, you're probably my favorite reaction. It's because I mainly just kind of hate the song again. But I'm interested in seeing what these guys could do. And Anthony Gargiulia, I've seen in a couple of the shorts, who seems like he's a really, really talented young man. So my understanding also from Peter Barber's conversation with Jeff Castellucci on the Vocal Arts podcast, I think is what he calls it. It's on Peter Barber's channel. Go check it out if you haven't, with Jeff. Anthony was not actually supposed to be the guy that came in and did this. They had another artist lined up, and the guy got sick and couldn't make it for the shooting days. So they literally just called Anthony, who happened to be in Orlando. He was like, "Yeah, I'll come by and do it," and that's where we're at. So, anyways, for those of you that are not familiar with who I am, my name is Corey. I'm not a professional musician. I go by Works on all these social channels because that's my online gaming name. So kind of keep it in that realm. But my name is Corey. I'm a mid-30s man that had his heyday in percussion half his life ago at this point, and just stuck around and really loves music, has really dove into acapella, was inspired to do these videos by Peter Barber of the Bass Gang. And so I've been doing them really since about 2022, I think. I said 2018, I think, in my last video, and that's very wrong. But I think I've been doing this really since June of 2022. They kind of were a coping mechanism as I was going through my separation and ultimately divorce. Um, I kind of told the story a little bit with the community post on I Can't Make You Love Me, when I went back and saw that I did that reaction. And I've talked a little bit about kind of the reason that these videos have become sporadic over the course of 2023. So go check out those videos. Go check out my community posts. You'll see why on those. I'm not going to dive in too deep into them. So the way that I do these videos, if I've never seen the video before, which in this case I haven't, I watch the entire video through, no pausing. You get my first full reaction to the video. I share it all basically with you. And then afterwards, once I get myself together, we go back through and we go back in and we kind of break it down and do a little bit more of a deep dive. Lots of pausing, breaking down, talking about the things that I think are pretty cool, my perspective and my observations, and we go from there. VoicePlay is notorious for keeping me at between 28 to 35 minutes. I try to keep these under 30 as much as possible, but they always find something to make me go over that. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is Seven Nation Army by VoicePlay featuring Anthony Gargiulia, originally been by the White Stripes.
Gonna fight them all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget No, back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message coming from my heart says, leave it alone. Leave it alone. I don't wanna hear about it. Don't wanna. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. From the Queen of England to the and if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't what you wanna hear, but that's what I'll do.
And the feeling coming from my bones is fine.
I'm going to Wichita, yeah, far from this opera forevermore. Yeah, I'm gonna work the straw, make the sweat out of every pore. And I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding, and I'm bleeding right before the Lord. All the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will sing no more. And the stains coming from the stains coming from the stains coming from my blood. Go back I'm gonna fight 'em all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back. Take the time, take the right behind my back. I'm gonna fight 'em all. A seven-nation army couldn't hold me back.
All right. Um, very, very creative. I will say that. Um, Struggling to put in a little bit into words because I'm kind of processing what I just saw. Like it was extremely different from what I was normally expecting out of everything. Sorry, you guys see me looking down is because I'm expecting some good text messages and I keep checking my phone for them. Anyways, but yeah, like I kept expecting it to get into the kind of same repetitive pattern, and I wonder if whoever was the one that arranged this, Jeff also arranged this one. So we've got two straight Jeff arrangements. I kind of felt like Jeff maybe did this one a little bit. I want to know is how many of those sound effects did Lane do? And is the answer all of them? So if someone knows, comment below. Let me hear it. Help me be informed. I think that I don't know if it's going to renew my love for the song because again, I'm kind of just Seven Nation Armied out, but I really enjoy the way that they approach this song, which is extremely repetitive. And like the almost the entire song is doom 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 doom. Like the entire way through with just a steady kick bass. Like that's almost the entire song. So the fact that they took a lot of really unique approaches to it, I think is pretty cool. If you're here just for the reaction, I think that's the end of this one for that one. So appreciate you very much for joining in. For those of you going to stick around, and let's dive into this a little bit. Be curious. There are some things I'm going to talk about. I don't think this one's going 30 minutes. Let's see. I love the dragging of the bat on the floor there. Adds a nice little, like, almost cowbell-like effect to it, unless they actually did that inside of a cowbell, which would be a very Jeff thing to do.
I'm gonna fight them all. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to.
So what I really appreciate about this first little verse here is that they didn't just get right into the driving kick bass right off the start. They added these really nice little like crescendo, decrescendo stuff in the back.
They're gonna
like right here.
rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking.
And I really like the little riff Jeff did there, where he just did the normal bass line, and then added the octave jump, the doom, 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 into the next thing where Caesar kicks in. So really nice there, trying to keep things interesting, because again, the song is super repetitive, and so you have to be creative in this arrangement. And Jeff did a really, really good job with it, I think, of finding ways that were there. And then they just kind of turned this song into like 3 different genres throughout the mix, and it was really cool.
Talking to myself at night because I can't forget. No.
Second straight video, Lane's the MVP, man. Like, I love everything that he did with drums to make this super, super interesting. And I wonder if it was a collaboration between him and Jeff on that, or if Jeff just decided, like, Lane likes to mess with my vocal range. Because I think he even said, like, Lane just does not give a fuck what's comfortable for us. He's just going to write what he think is great. And I think Jeff decided to make 7-Nation Army the revenge, so to speak, on Lane, where he's going to make Lane be like, all right, Lane, do you want to make me do 3 to 4 sustained B0s in Valhalla? I'm going to make you do, a bunch of ridiculous beat and throat boxing techniques that either you aren't super practiced in, or it's going to stretch you to your limit.
I can't forget.
Like, listen to this.
Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette.
I also really love the enunciation that all of these guys are doing, because it's like Jack White is a many, many things, the weirdest Cub fan ever to start with. But one thing that Jack White doesn't always do well is, and I don't know if it's a recording or if it's a mixing thing, but Jack White is hard to understand at times because of his unique voice. And so, like, the enunciation that all of the members so far that I've been singing have been doing has been a really nice contrast to what, generally speaking, Jack White does, at least in 7-Nation Army.
And the message coming from my heart says, leave it alone. Leave.
Love the octave jump on the bass there. Gives it again, makes it feel fresh the entire time.
Leave it alone. I don't want.
Now that one there, was that Lane or was that Jeff? It tells me it's Lane because of the way that it sounds with the throat boxing and the throat bass that he's doing there.
Hear about it. Don't wanna. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it.
So this is kind of like my first true introduction to Anthony Gargiulia. So like I said, I've seen him a little bit in the shorts, but I saw the Wellerman one as well. But like, I think this is a really nice introduction to Anthony to kind of give you an idea of what he does. So he has a very rich but distinct sound in his voice because of the way he intonates. There's a lot of, it's a combination of clarity and nasality, if that makes sense. Like, I can't really describe it. Some of that's much better, like with voice breakdowns. We could probably describe it better, and I'll go find them and listen to them myself. But like, there's just a distinct about it, and of course you could see he's got incredible control with his little run that he does right here.
Everyone knows about it.
Like that right there, like really, really nice vocal control where you heard every little like waver in his voice, every little moment of vibrato that you heard there, very, very clear, which is impressive. That's not easy to do.
From the Queen of England to the and if I
How deep into his subs did he go?
catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't
So I really like how they take the very straightforward version of the original and find ways to break it up and make it unique and keep it interesting really to listen to. And a lot of it's here, this call and response, which if you've listened to any of my videos, you know I love me some call and response. It's my favorite musical technique. Call and response, call and answer, question and answer, you might hear it as well. Is my favorite musical technique because I think it can create some really interesting tension in songs, and it also allows for some very fun, creative ways to extend a song by a couple of bars or add some flavor to a song that's really needs it. And I think the latter applies here. So
and if I catch it coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. And that ain't
this is not so much call and response. There is some call and response to it. The original line is the call. The response is that we just repeat it back to each other. Sometimes that's actually legitimate call and response in my view. So it just does a really good job of taking this song that kind of originally I think struggles in the middle of it and adds some spice to it, adds some flavor to it, and also gives an opportunity to show off that Caesar and Ellie feel like they've been singing together for 15 years, even though they've only been singing together, like a year and a half now, 2 years. So I really enjoy it, and it gets to show off Anthony's voice again with his runs and with his vocal control that he has right here.
to you. And that
And I really like how he does that. Except up because he's Anthony. Again, that really nice vocal control that is tough when you start to get into a rhythm. It's tough to just cut yourself off real quick and pick back up on the exact same note. It sounds the exact same, as if almost like someone edited in the pause. And I know that that wasn't the case because of the way it sounds and the attack that he made to each note.
ain't what you wanna hear, but that's what I'll do.
Another run.
And the feeling coming from my bones is fine.
Was that a zero? Please tell me if that was a zero. But also, Lane.
From my bones is fine.
Oh, Jeff, come on. Yeah, I missed that the first time. Great. Good stuff, sir. So, sorry, got distracted by a text message. So, like, hang on. I gotta go back and listen real quick. Right there. That's what it was. So we took this sort of traditional rock song and now have turned it into a, like, almost like a rap breakdown in a way. And we're talking like Dirty South rap, like that type of rap. If you don't know what that is, go look up Dirty South rap. You probably know some songs if you're old enough. And it's a really good way to kind of, again, we're pushing this song into different genres, which I think it needs in order to stay relevant and interesting. Sorry. Something hit the door behind me, I think. But it's a way to keep the song relevant and interesting, and it's kind of like required for it to be a fun video here. And I just really like they did that, and then Jeff with his little come on right here. Come on. And like he does it, and it sounds like a God, again, I'm gonna correlate this to video games. Come on. It sounds like almost like the Mortal Kombat announcer. Round one, fight. Come on. Sounds like a fighting game character. It's hilarious. Oh, I can't even do it. Kind of like that. Ugh, it took me a sec to get that. Really, really fun technique. It's really, really difficult to get clean like that from Lane. Just excellent stuff. Wait a second. Okay, Ellie. I missed that too. By the way, I need the Ellie note if you know it. Now we're into like this like trappy dubstep version of it. It's kind of transitioned. Just really cool. Really like that addition there. Like, dude, Lane is so freaking good. Like, these last two songs have just really shown off. Like, I'm sure there's like actual like beatboxers, but at least in the acapella world, I don't think anyone's touching Lane right now. That's just my opinion. Ooh, Jeff. That except even lower. I need those notes because I think the first one was subs, the second one was chest. Like that, pretty impressive. Let me pull it back, which is what the song does, and then it comes right.
I'm going to Wichita. Yeah.
The original song it does that.
From this opera forevermore. Yeah, I'm gonna work the straw.
Little Phil.
Make the sweat out of every pore.
I love the drop. So I can make. I don't know if I can do it right now. Kind of like that, except he manages to do it where you don't hear him slapping. So like he just finds a way to make it work. Like I wish I could do that. It's very cool stuff, and I like the little, of course, the anarchy symbol over here in the corner, which I'm just not seeing. You kind of understand what Seven Nation Army is talking about. It's actually a perfect fit, and I really like the guys coming through with like their gear, getting ready to cause anarchy. That's kind of what this song is about. Jeff, why did you pick up the fire extinguisher? It could have been useful. And that little section right there was actually the closest that we're getting from at least a bass and drum section. It's really the only time we've gotten what is exactly like the original. It's the only time we've gotten it, and it lasted like 4 seconds. I love it. His vibrato is ridiculous. Hell yeah, Lane. Or, well, Lane too, but hell yeah, Ellie. Again, we just get these. Yeah. Like, come on, I can't even do it. Not a belt. Okay, Anthony. Let's see you jumping into the clouds there. Of course, Ellie, of course, we know can do this. And I think it's the perfect time for his rock tenor to come in. That rip it off, like full rock tenor, dog. That sounded like straight out of an Aerosmith song. Of course, Jeff, we're getting here with the thing. Again, did Lane make the sound of the bullet dropping to the ground? Tell me. Just really, really good stuff. I don't have anything to say other than it's good.
I'm gonna fight them all. A Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back.
And Jeff ends on a very, very nice, thick subharmonic there. Someone do the low note compilation. Do we have it? I don't see it immediately. I'm sure I'll go back, and when Peter Barber releases his video, we'll talk about it. I'm sure he'll talk about it. So, in fact, right here, I'll be watching that in just a little bit. So yeah, very, very good stuff from VoicePlay. Like I said, I don't know if this probably doesn't even hit my top 10 favorite of VoicePlay covers, but I really appreciate the fact that they did a lot to take a song that is kind of, to me, more than worn out its welcome in the world, and probably should just go live its life as one of the best songs ever in the history of Earth because of how simple and singable and catchy it is. Not even on my top 100 songs of all time personally, but they really did a good job and a great effort of taking this song and putting a really, really fun creative spin on it and doing some things with it that I'd never seen anyone try to do before, which is what VoicePlay is really known for doing. Is they take this thing and they find some sort of really fun, creative way to add a spin to it that no one is expecting. Like you had your rap section in Valhalla Calling, and then you have this here with Lane's throat bass and like the way that they broke up the main motif of the song, that doom 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 doom, and found really fun and interesting ways to constantly reinvigorate it in a different way. So really, really like that a lot. So that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that. I appreciate you very much for clicking on the video, watching here through to the end if you have. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know the drill with YouTube, guys. You're going to hear it on every video because it actually legitimately helps. Until it stops actually legitimately helping, I'm not going to stop saying it. So comment below, of course, anything I asked for, particularly when it comes to some of Jeff's high notes and the high notes from Anthony and Ellie that were in those songs as well. So I appreciate you very much for tuning in. Until the next video, hope you stay safe. Hope you're having fun. You keep on listening to great music. Keep on gaming if that's your thing. I'll see you all in the next video.